Right now at 11, breaking news, ripping flames, evacuations, homes burning in a wind-whipped wildfire in the San Fernando Valley. Smoke seen for miles, more than 100,000 people being told to get out.
Let's take you live to some of those pictures in the Los Angeles area, which we have been watching overnight and into this morning. An aircraft dropping water and fire retardant trying to get a handle on those flames.
Thanks so much for joining us this midday. I'm Chris Sanchez.
And I'm Scott McGrew. Marcus and Laura have the morning off. Here's the latest from the fire lines near Los Angeles. The blazes have turned deadly. The fires scattered across an area in Granada Hills, Silmar, and Porter Ranch, that's south of the Grapevine. The Saddleridge Fire, as they're calling it, ballooned overnight from 60 acres to nearly 5,000 as the Santa Ana winds pushed into the valley. It is completely out of control, 0% contained. Also, fire officials are confirming one person has died of an apparent heart attack during the fire. Nearly 100 buildings, houses, structures, and homes have been destroyed in the fires, certainly disrupting traffic, shutting down businesses and schools. Cal State Northridge is closed this morning.
All right, so this story is developing so quickly. Our NBC station, Los Angeles, has been on the air for hours. This is a gentleman who was just evacuated from his home. Let's take a listen.
You basically stayed up all night?
Yeah, since 11 o'clock when my wife woke me up saying there was something going on in the news, and from there we hear those Amber Alerts. After that we just came in like probably 2:30 to 3 o'clock to the shelter, just trying to get a space, and we finally got inside. And then we just stayed all the way to now. And I went this morning to check for the rest of the pets. You know, I had the fish and a turtle, and I just went to see them.
So, yeah, obviously you had to leave the fish in the aquarium and the turtle. And so you got back to your house.
Yes.
How was it looking?
Everything was foggy around the area, and also...
Foggy or fire smoke?
Fire smoke,
yeah.
Basically, yeah. So, and actually it was more like inside the house too, first and the second floor, because it's a dual plant home, and I can smell it from the 2 floor levels, the smoke.
So that kind of validates the decision you made. You wouldn't want to be there now.
I don't want to be there at this time, yes.
So the fish and the turtle is going to be okay?
Yeah, I put cover of wet napkins just so that way it can be dry, and I'm going to give it another check probably in the afternoon before the fire picks up again. You know, I heard that there's still the winds are going to pick up, so I'm watching also the news and all those medium information to know exactly where I'm going to be my next step.
Yeah.
But I want to keep this one in the meantime just to make sure that I don't have to go back home and then get another alert and I have to move out from the house again.
Yeah.
You're watching live coverage from our NBC sister station in Los Angeles as they take a look at that fire.
So more than 100 people evacuated in such a short amount of time. They actually ran out of space at the evacuation centers. They had to pop new ones open. We want to take you to another neighborhood where some of the homes were damaged and destroyed.
This is going to give you a video where you can really see how big this fire is. NBC's Gotti Schwartz shows us what's left behind and the overnight fight against the fire.
Overnight, a desperate firefight to save homes all across Southern California. With no stopping the flames, it tore through neighborhoods fueled by powerful winds, forcing hundreds near Los Angeles to evacuate, including animals, pets, and livestock.
Where the wind's blowing so bad that the smoke is right over my house.
The winds are expected to die down a little bit later on today, but it is going to be an extremely long fight for all these firefighters. Guys, back to you.
One of the other evacuees was actually a former firefighter himself. He said that he saw his home, the neighbor's home, go up in flames right now.
This morning we watched the embers, you know, they would fly, and so there would be a house, you know, a mile away, all on fire, all by itself. Yeah. And of course, there's nothing firefighters can do. No. There's too much.
There's not. And there's not much you can do when there's wind like they're seeing down there. Let's bring in meteorologist Carrie Hall. These are those infamous Santa Anas.
Yeah, and so the winds have really been gusting high this morning. And not only that, but very low relative humidity. This is a look at one of our PG&E cameras that we have from Oat Mountain, looking just southwest of Santa Cruz. Rita, towards those fires that are really being pushed off as we deal with those really high winds out there. We are seeing those winds coming in from the northeast and blowing offshore, and around San Fernando and the valley, we've seen the wind speeds continuing to stay very strong at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. The good news is that the forecast showed that we will see the winds starting to not blow as hard as we go into this evening. We're going to see the weather conditions improving, and then even going into early tomorrow morning as they try to get some containment. But the air is very dry. We are going to see the humidity levels staying low as we check out the weather conditions there. It's also going to be warm with temperatures in the mid-80s throughout the day, but some of those gusts up to over 30 miles per hour. Look at the relative humidity, only at about 5% right now. So we'll continue to monitor that situation in the weather department.
Thank you, Carrie.